Hola amigos, bien o no, y saludos desde Medellín. Un poco diferente el clima hoy, muy caliente, pero creo que la lluvia viene. Entonces hoy el tema es fracaso, failure. Ese es el tema de hoy. So hello from Medellín, another splendid afternoon. You can't tell from the picture, but it's very warm here just now. But as you see, lots of cloud. Going to have a storm later, I think. So the theme of the day is failure, fracaso. And firstly, my apologies. Yesterday I wasn't able to do the video. So in that sense, that is my admission of failure, because my promise to myself and also to you was to make a video every day. And I wasn't able to do that yesterday. But these things happen, as we know. The happy place we inhabit called life does tend to get in the way often. And really, it's just one of those things. But equally, how do we deal with that sense of failure? Because we have good intentions, we want to improve, and if we think about this when we're trying to improve our language study, it's something we're going to have to try and practice a lot, ideally every day. So what do we do when that's not possible? How do we deal with that disappointment? I mean, yesterday, could I have done the video? Could I have planned my time differently? Yes, I could have done. But I ended up getting caught in a cycle of unplanned events that sort of continued, and by the time it stopped, it was far too late to think about anything else or do the video. Yeah, so in that sense, there's a sense of disappointment. I feel disappointed I wasn't able to do it. Was it all my fault? No, actually, probably not. Other things got in the way a bit. So some ways it's like that. It's taking a more pragmatic attitude to things that you're just not able to do on that day. Ideally, yes, I should have done the video. But pragmatically, okay, it didn't happen. What lessons can I take from that? Well, I could look at when I try and do the videos. Perhaps I should change the way I do this and do these very early in the morning before anyone or anything else can interrupt me with what I'm doing. That would be one sure way probably to get the videos done, but you might not get so much of the scenery if I did that. So that would be something to think about. I could maybe change the time when I did it, that kind of thing. But it's something that's going to happen, so we have to think about that. How do we deal with that? Well, we can try and take positive aspects from other things we did that day that worked well. So although I wasn't able to do the video yesterday, and honestly I didn't get to practice in the way I'd expected any of my Spanish, I did have lots of Spanish conversations, which were all useful, and in many cases brought me new vocabulary and new people to talk to. So in that sense, that wasn't all bad. I mean, it wasn't what I planned to do, wasn't what I'd expected to do, but in many ways, the outcomes of most of those events yesterday were positive. So, not so bad. Okay, if I'm critical about what I did yesterday, could I have planned it differently? Yeah, okay, yeah, I could have done the thing earlier in the day if I'd known what was happening. Yes. Did I know? No. Would it help if I changed my schedule in the future? Well, perhaps. These are things to think about. You can reflect again as to looking at whether perhaps the way your day is set up has made it more difficult than it should have been to do the thing you were trying to do. So if you're trying to fit in your study in a particular part of the day and you find that's consistently being interrupted, or other things that are causing that problems, perhaps that's time to reconsider when you're scheduling the practice. Not the practice itself, but perhaps when you're scheduling it. So all these things really, it's a way of saying that although you may well fail, you may do something that doesn't go the way you expect, you may prepare for that conversation that then doesn't happen in the way you'd hoped, and you might well feel quite bad about it, or a sense of like complete failure, guilt, all kinds of things. But it doesn't necessarily mean you need to carry this thing through into the next day. The failure is probably inevitable. At some point, something like that, the wheels are going to come off, it's not going to work. But it's the idea really, I think, is to reflect on it honestly. If there's something you could have done or should have done differently, note that for next time. See if there's some kind of change you can make to give you a better outcome. And then look really hard for as many positives that you got out of that situation, because there might be one there somewhere. So there we go. That's the idea for the day. Failure. It's going to happen, but don't necessarily beat yourself up too much about it. Use it as an opportunity to improve for the future, and then success will surely follow. So with that thought, we'll wish you farewell from Medellin before the rain gets here in a few hours, I think. Déjame saber en los comentarios, como siempre. I hope you enjoy this one. But for now, from Medellin, we'll say cheerio.